What is it, guys? Moon here, aka and Sam here for another episode. You fuckers thought you were done, right? No. Today I'm gonna show you the rest of the endings that we could have gotten for Diana. The ending that we officially got was the one where we fucking got our memories wiped clean and we're basically dead. But whatever. Okay, here's some more. These are the other options we had. We did the make a deal with Diana, and there's one more thing we can do with the make a deal with Diana. So we're gonna do that after this. We're gonna do these two first, and the fight one. Let's do it. Let's jump right in, guys. I wasn't going to let her win. I knew I could fight her. I began to pull on the hold on me roughly. My mind was fighting, but my body wasn't responding.
You still wish to fight?
Diana rubbed her temples before walking to me.
I've had enough of this.
All of a sudden, Diana grabbed my head, making my mind blank out. I felt large waves of energy zip from my body and mind at her touch, but it intensified as Diana placed her lips on mine. I didn't kiss back. I didn't fight. I couldn't do anything. I could only stare as she drained my body of energy. My body began to go limp, and my mind grew insanely heavy. If I wasn't floating, I would surely be on the ground, passed out. How was she able to pull this much energy without doing anything more than kissing me? I would never know. Soon my whole body felt numb, and I felt like an empty spirit floating in midair. Diana slightly frowned at the sight.
Such a waste.
Diana ran her hand over my hair, twirling a strand around her fingers.
So long, sweetie.
Before I knew it, I was falling. She let me go. I could only close my eyes. I didn't even feel a thing. End. So long, sweetie. Okay, so that's one ending we got. So there's that. So yeah. Now we're going to go to the next ending, which is the ending where I can't remember what the next ending is, but we're going to go to that, so I'm going to cut here. Okay, now we did the fight, now we're going to give up our memories, so let's see how that ends. My mind began to wander. Were the memories truly worth my life? I remember the way the boys helped organize the house party and helped me home after Malix's ordeal. But then I remembered, I'm only human. I wasn't a demon, I wasn't special. The world of magic was too large for me. I already had a world to face without magic being involved. I felt a wave of sadness run through me, replaying the memories of all that had happened the past few days one last time before speaking up. Fine. Take my memories. I couldn't keep them. They were beyond my world. They were beyond what I needed to know. I was never meant to know of them. Diana nodded.
Glad you understand now.
The pit beast below me closed its jaws and vanishing into nothing as I was lowered to the ground. I stood up straight and looked to Diana, resolved. Diana sighed before closing her hand and muttering Latin phrases under her breath, loud enough for me to barely hear her. She then opened her hand and revealed a small purple vial. What is that? What is that?
A memory potion. It will remove all of the memories of demons and magic from your mind. With the memories gone, you can live your life as free as you want.
What about the boys?
I have a spell for them. As soon as you drink that potion, you sign your contract with me, and I will take the boys back to where they belong.
Will they remember me?
I'll make sure they won't. They won't even remember ever thinking about coming to the human world.
Why didn't you use it before now? Why do I have to drink it knowingly?
Because demon magic isn't black and white, dear. The one catch is that the potion has to be drunk with full natural consent, so I can't just slip it into your chocolate milk or pour it into your mouth as you sleep. That's the downside of good succubus magic.
So I'll be
a plain, boring human. No potential, no abilities, no memories to even have abilities. You'll be a plain Jane girl in a plain Jane world.
I nodded before looking at the vial. My memory in exchange for my humanity. I popped the cork off the vial and gingerly brought it up to my lips. Goodbye, magic. Goodbye, demons. Goodbye, strange future. Hello, normalcy. I tilted my head back and chugged the drink down, feeling its magic already starting its work as it reached the inside of my mouth. I felt dizzy and sick, but I sucked down every last drop of that liquid. I felt the memories of the boys fade away. I never met them. I never met them in my house when I moved in. I never was attacked by Malix or his goons. I never was kidnapped. I never met Diana. As I finished drinking, I felt my body grow weak, almost becoming unable to continue standing up. My vision was blurred and fuzzy, and I couldn't help but let my eyes shut. I asked for this. I wouldn't have the boys protecting me anymore. I didn't even open my eyes when I finally fell forward into Diana's arms.
It's for your own good, sweetie. Forget about it and be normal. I'm sorry.
I felt my mind slowly relax. There were no demons, no devils, no magic to drive me crazy. Everything was normal. Everything was peaceful. Everything was ordinary. Just the way Diana wanted. Just the way I wanted. Eventually the morning arrived and the sun screamed at me to get up surprisingly. I woke up before my alarm clock, which was nice. I stretched out and quickly got dressed. Getting ready for school, I went over in my mind what had happened over the weekend, suddenly feeling wary. I had moved in Friday night, held a house party Saturday, and enjoyed my day Sunday. Yep, sounds right. I scooped up my bag and headed downstairs to the dining room. The room was empty and I felt hungry. I needed to eat something. I made myself some quick toast and coffee, needing a jump start. I felt drained and I did not want to fall asleep in class. Something bothered me though. My house felt empty, or at least emptier than when I first came here for some reason. I couldn't put my finger on it, but it slightly bothered me. I finished my food and quickly rushed to the front. Naomi's car was waiting for Naomi's car and confident that nothing was going to happen. I avoided talking about what had happened yesterday. I'll be around with you guys from now on, to and from school. As we entered the school, we quickly gathered our things to the lockers and headed to class. There were no events, to my surprise. Naomi and Suzu took their seats around me, Suzu in front of me, and Naomi beside me. Before the class bell rang, the class was greeted by our teacher. History wasn't as boring as economics, but I still managed to space out in class, just the same. I decided to keep my eyes on my notebook. I began to scribble random doodles, some which stuck out more than others. That's how I managed to doodle a small bear with a heart on its stomach. I cracked a small smile at the image, imagining the heart lighting up on the paper as I pressed the eraser of my pencil on it. I remember what happened last week, slowly frowning at the memories of my grandfather. I guess it was still hard to let him go. To lose someone is never easy, but I know that moping and letting his memory get to me wouldn't do any good. I felt, though, that he was watching over me. As stupid as that may sound, I felt like somehow safe. Like it was okay not to focus on school or my future and just live in my own little world. I could be a little girl and draw pictures instead of playing out the rest of my life and be perfectly happy. Sadly, I knew that wasn't realistic. Graduation was slowly coming up and my mind had wandered into the future once again. What was I going to do? It was hard to think about. At this rate, I just wanted to wing it. No decisions had to be made ahead of time in my little world. No disappointments would come out of whatever I decided to do in my life. Hell, maybe I could even find a perfect magical love in my little world, and life would just turn out like a dream. I was sad to think that my world wasn't real, yet my heart still wished that it was. It gently squeezed inside my chest, almost convincing me that magic could be real. My mind knew better. I let out a small sigh, letting my little world hide away my thoughts as the class bell rang. Naomi and Suzu smiled at me, making me feel a little better. At least, I still have my friends. I quickly gathered my things and left to my next class. My life became a blur, and once again surrounded by people moving faster than myself. As I walked through my life in slow motion, I felt that I could stop and the world would continue moving in high speed. Memories of childhood haunted me throughout the day, throughout the week, throughout the month. Soon, I let my entire last semester pass me by, and I was on the cusp of graduating. I never felt more nervous about my life. What would happen after I touched my diploma? Would real life just sweep me away? Would I be left alone in the void of my own doing? It was hard to say. I stared at the graduation forms covering my dining room table, unable to process all the information on them. I'm going to graduate. My mind settled into a hushed rumble at the thought of graduating. I was nervous, excited, worried, bored, anxious, and angry all at once. What was I going to do? Where was I going to go after all this was over? What was in my future? And why did my house feel so empty? I sighed and put my forehead against the wood of the table. My head had begun to spin, and I needed it to stop. Closing my eyes, I counted my heartbeat as it pounded in my head. What broke my concentration was my doorbell ringing. I lifted my head and walked over to the lobby to open the door. Who is it?
It's your father.
My hand froze on the doorknob. Why was he here? I could practically feel the incoming lecture we were about to have emanating from the cracks of the door. I felt my nervousness take hold of my emotions I felt my nervousness take hold of my emotions as I simply stood there, staring at the frosted glass in the door, at my dad's figure. What is it?
I wanted to talk to you. It's important.
I opened the door, ushering him in. There was no use in denying the inevitable. My father stepped in and looked around the lobby, like an investigative health inspector. I couldn't help but press my lips together in irritation. What did he want to talk about?
You've kept the place clean. Good.
Thank you.
I want to talk about your future.
Great. What about it? I'm going to graduate and go to college.
That's not what I meant. I meant about you being part of Anderson Family Toys.
I stared. Was he serious right now? Did he really want to add another stress point in my life? I felt myself glare out of pure irritation with the topic. What about it?
Do you want to be part of the company?
Was he seriously asking this? Was I getting an option? This had to be a test. This couldn't be real. You said I was to be...
I said, do you want to be part of the company?
I felt my mind go blank. Did I want to be part of the company? If this chance was real, this was my one chance to do what I wanted without expectation over my head. I wanted to be free. I wanted to fly high and find my open path in the world. If that was really a future with the company, I would be taken there on my own, not on the command of my father. If my future took me far away, then I wanted that chance to go. No, I don't.
May I ask why?
I want to choose my own future. I don't want to be stuck to expectation. I felt my mind begin to fill with ideas of the future, dreams, goals that I could possibly fulfill with a new freedom. I want to decide what I want to do with my life. If it's with Anderson Family Toys, then I want my heart to bring me there. My heart tensed in fear. Was he going to scold me? Was he going to be happy? What was he going to do? His sigh almost frightened me to death.
You should do what makes you happy.
What? Did he really? Dad.
I'll admit, I've been harsh on you. I thought that me pushing you would make you confident to take the family company. With you being in this place, though, I was worried that you'd turn out as curious as your grandfather.
Then, why did you send me here?
Because I wanted to see what you would do if you weren't constantly under my influence.
My dad placed a hand on my head and rubbed it gently as I stared up at him in confusion.
Looking at you now, I see a grown woman, ready to take on the world. I deeply regret not being the dad I was supposed to be.
Suddenly, I felt my dad pull me into an embrace, burying his head in my shoulder. I stared wide-eyed over his shoulder, unable to take in what was happening. Was he hugging me for real? Was he seriously in regret?
I should have let you be a kid a little while longer. Now that you're grown up, I can't guide you anymore.
I began to shake. This was real. This had to be. This was too emotional to be a dream. I gripped onto my dad, making sure my senses weren't lying to me.
I'm sorry. I'm so sorry.
My dad pulled back slightly and gently moved a strand of hair from my face, smiling at me.
I love you, sweetie.
And then I broke. The world finally was able to freeze completely as I held onto my dad and cried into his shoulder. I let my mind completely empty and fill itself with memories of my dad and me. He used to be kind. He used to care. Something took that dad away from me, and now he was back. I could feel his love for me as he held me close and let me cry into his shoulder. He finally said, "I love you, Daddy."
My baby girl. I'm so proud of you.
I leaned completely into my dad's embrace as he supported me to stand. I felt like a little girl again. It was both pathetic and blissful. I didn't care. I was with my dad. My dad gently pulled away and kissed my forehead, letting me hiccup with a small smile.
No matter how old you are, you'll always be my little girl. I may have screwed up your childhood, but let me make it up to you in the future.
I nodded, wiping my eyes. Finally, I could have my dad who didn't see me as an investment, but saw me as a daughter. My heart was jumping in my chest in joy, while my mind filled with happy thoughts. I felt like I could do anything now. My dad rustled my hair a bit before stepping away from me.
Now, I have to take your mom out to dinner. It's been a while since we've gone out, but I think it's time to apologize to her as well.
For what?
For being a burden she had to carry. She's always supported you from the sidelines, but I didn't let her completely be a wife and mother. It's time to make her happy now.
My dad and I smiled at each other. We understood each other now, and I was happy beyond words. My dad left my house, but not completely alone. I knew that he would support me now with whatever I wanted to do. I smiled and held my hands to my chest, feeling my heart pulse. I'll be okay.
Yes, you will be.
I quickly turned to the voice to see a woman dressed in black and gold, dressed in a black and gold dress, smiling at me. It was as if she appeared from thin air, and I went into my defense mode. "Who are you?"
Relax, relax. I'm just passing by.
"What do you mean? How did you get in here?"
You don't need to know that. I only came here to pick up a little something, and then I'll be gone.
"What are you?" With a snap of fingers, I suddenly felt myself get warm. This feeling was familiar, but I couldn't pinpoint how. What was she doing to me? I watched the woman walk over and gently lift my chin to look at my face with a smile.
A kiss for the road, sweetie. I had to do a lot of running around, and it's made me need a pick-me-up.
I felt myself nod. What was I doing? The woman smiled and gently lowered her face to kiss me. I felt like melting into the kiss, but I knew, deep inside, that this was beyond wrong. How was she doing this? Why was she doing this? I felt my strength and energy drain from the kiss, and soon I felt my legs slightly wobble in weakness. The woman pulled away and placed a small purple vial in my hand.
Drink up, sweetie. You need it.
I nodded and opened the vial before pouring its contents into my mouth. It was sweet like fruit, but it wasn't overpowering. I felt my energy return to my body at the last drop that dripped into my tongue. Huh? What?
A gift from me, as a thank you for giving me the strength to finally take what is mine.
What is yours? The woman smiled before nodding at me and walking around to the door. As she opened the door to take a step out, she looked back at me.
Praeteritorium poscunt, corrige augurium, delir memoria, liberaret I am.
As she closed the door behind me, I suddenly felt my mind go back to being happy. What had just happened? Oh right, my dad had just left. I felt more confident than ever, and knew that I could take on anything. I rushed over to the dining room and looked over the graduation papers with a small smirk. I can do this. Eventually my graduation came along, and I walked across the school stage and took hold of my diploma with grace. The rest of the story could almost be passed over. I graduated from school as one of the top 10 students of my class. My family was proud. But what of my future? Well, that was free for me to decide now. No longer would I have the future scaring me into a corner. I could choose my life on my own. That being said, I was still scared of where the future was going to take me. What did I want to do? Did I want to help build the family company? Did I want to venture off on my own? Whatever I was going to do, I was going to do it with a smile on my face. I was happy, and nothing could shake me down from the happiness. The next morning, I woke up and took in all that had happened, as if it was all a dream. My life seemed to fall perfectly into place. It was almost surreal. I walked over to the balcony window and opened it, stepping onto the patio and staring to the sky. It was beautiful. The wind gently brushed over my face as I took in the smell of the morning. I felt a wave of confidence rush through my body as I stared into the sky. Fine. I'll be just fine. I was confident that I could do anything now. My life was in my hands, and I was strong enough to carry it. I was alone for now, yes, but eventually I knew that I would be happy at the end of my journey. I still had 100 battles to face, 1,000 memories to make, and 1,000,000 stories to write. This was just one of those stories. That was my happily ever after. End. My freedom. Guys, that was a pretty good ending. I would actually have been happy with that ending if we would have gotten that instead of the ending where we freaking died. But whatever. It's fine. Anyway, I'm going to cut here, guys, and I'm going to skip to the next ending. Okay, now we got to make a deal with Diana. And I'm going to skip through all this stuff because we already know the deal. The whole deal gist. We're going to skip through this, and we're going to ask for power. This is the one I originally picked. I picked it, and I didn't like it at all. And I probably should have not ended with this one, but this is the last ending we're going to do. So, yeah. Diana raised an eyebrow at me.
What kind of power?
Anything. I just want to have it.
You want power, but don't know what kind of power you want. Interesting, human.
I watched as Diana walked over to me and gripped my chin. She examined my face, which made me wonder what the heck she was looking for. Did I have something on it? Diana's eyes seemed to almost glow as she looked into my eyes, which both scared me and made me feel warm and fuzzy. Diana nodded her head, a small smirk painting her face.
Well, since you didn't specify what kind of power.
I raised my eyebrow. What was she thinking? Diana stepped back and tapped her fingers across her arms, trying to think. I was unsure of what ran through her mind, but I hoped it was good. As if coming up with a solution, Diana finally lowered her arms and nodded to herself.
Very well, human. Power you want, so power you shall have.
Diana snapped her fingers, which caused a large beam of purple and black light shoot up from the pit beast below me. I became consumed in it, shutting my eyes tightly. The world around me became dark, and I didn't want to open my eyes for any reason. I couldn't feel myself fall. I couldn't feel my own body. Darkness surrounded my body, and I felt weightless in its embrace. Was this what I wanted? Where was I? Was I dead? I couldn't be. This couldn't be what death was. What was going to happen to me? Why was I in darkness? I didn't know what was happening, and I felt like screaming, but in a darkness like this, who would answer? Diana, where are you? I could hear my voice empty into the darkness without echo. I was in an abyss, left alone with no one to turn to. Was this freedom? Was this power? What was this?
You're too chaotic for the world of humans, little girl. I'm going to give you something very valuable, so you best not squander the chance.
I looked around trying to find Diana. What was she talking about?
You're about to be reborn. You will be reborn into a powerful creature. So powerful, the demon lord himself will learn fear. And I'm going to give you the power to defeat him.
I felt my body quake in pain suddenly, forcing me to curl over my body and cry out. My clothes burned off of me, and I watched in fright as my hands and feet began to darken into an inky, dangerous purple tint. The color traveled through my skin and made my body twitch in both pain and fear. I couldn't help but scream in agony at the pain rushing through me. It felt like my skin was burning away and being replaced by a new shell. It was a torturous mutation. I could feel marks burn themselves into my flesh, marking my body into a purple tattoo gallery. As my head began to feel heavy, I gripped on the sides of my head, only to feel something growing from each side. I gripped onto the new additions to my head and gasped. Horns. I was becoming a devil? No. A demon. A demon. Yes, I was a demon. My life flashed before my eyes and burned away like flowers in wildfire. Each memory I had held dear to me no longer existed in my mind, for I could only accept darkness. I was a demon. The name... I don't know how to pronounce that. Reverberated in my head. Was it my name? Was it the name of someone close to me? I couldn't place the name, so I placed it into the darkness of my mind as my first memory. I closed my eyes and breathed. I opened them with staring into a castle hall, seated on a throne. I heard shouts and pleadings for help and aid from the servants around me. They all were scared, and the threat was coming our way. Even one approached me and asked what we should do. I stared at the demon servant, recognizing him as my underling, another new memory. I crossed my legs and thought briefly. The demon lord was a powerful demon, willing to kill for territory. New memory. I smirked. Let him come. I'm ready. I felt new memories of the world around me draw up from the darkness of my mind, telling me everything I needed to know about my situation. I was a succubus, and the new ruler of the territory of the Demon King wanted. I wasn't going to let him take it so easily. I wouldn't allow it. I watched as my underlings scrambled under my command and instructed them specifically on what to do and how to prepare my new lands for its intruder. I then remembered Anizer gave me the power to defeat the Demon Lord, and she was out on some mission or another. I would take it and become a new being. Would she return? Not likely. She was too weak to return after ripping open a tear to the human world. She would be on her little mission forever, leaving me with her kingdom, unless she found a powerful enough human to grant her access back. She wouldn't know that, though. Not until the very last minute. Too bad. My mind allowed me to see all the power I had, and I smirked at the thought of each spell in my mind being powerful enough to wipe out kingdoms. Yes, this was what I wanted. This was my calling. I was free to carve out my own path, and the power to do so. This was happily ever after, and I was surely going to enjoy every minute of it. End. My kingdom. So yeah, there's all the endings, guys. I hope you all enjoyed. Be sure to leave a like and subscribe if you're never to the channel before, and I will catch you guys all again in Seduce Me 2 whenever I play that game. It's coming soon. Just stay tuned for that, and I will catch you guys all then. Hope you enjoyed them. See you guys. Mwah. Love ya.